G'day, mate. What is experiential marketing? And how exactly does it work? Well, I've flown 11,000 miles to show you exactly what experiential marketing looks like. What's amazing is these two Aussies use very similar experiential marketing tactics to own the very same customer, except they did it 100 years apart. All of that and some wet nappies on this episode of The Loyalty Loop from right here in Sydney, Australia. Welcome back, Loyalty Loopers. For those of you that are new, hey, thanks for coming. Every week we uncover a small marketing idea that can have a massive impact on your business. So if you find yourself enjoying this video, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss next week's. All right, my friends, here's the deal. Everything old is new again. On the left here, we have Joe Nathan. And on the right, we have Sanjay Gill and his wife, Mirabai Winford. And here's what they have in common. 1, they're Australians. They are Aussies. 2, they all target new parents. Okay, more specifically, first-time parents. Oh, maybe even more specifically, they target first-time moms. 3, they all use experiences to win over new customers. And 4, they are amazingly successful at doing it. What's even more amazing is that these two businesses were started 100 years apart, actually over 100 years apart. Now, we are going to visit Sanjay and Mirabai's store in just a minute. It's just over there. But first, let me tell you the story of Joe Nathan. The year is 1906. So let's make it black and white and all grainy like it's 1906. Haha, much better. And Joe Nathan ran a powdered milk company called Defiance Powdered Milk. Not the best name, but he had purchased it with his brother in the early 1900s. And Joe and his brother were struggling to compete in a marketplace of more than 300 powdered milk brands. Now, they had advertised heavily, and it didn't seem to help sell much more powdered milk, but it did spark thousands and thousands of consumer inquiries on how to raise a healthy baby. Instead of ignoring those thousands of consumer inquiries, which some CEOs might do because he's not in the business of giving baby advice, he decided to answer those inquiries. And to do that, he hired a woman named Nurse Kennedy. And Nurse Kennedy answered every single one of those consumer inquiries on behalf of the company with a handwritten letter sent back to the consumer. Remember, it's 1906. And before they knew it, word got out that Defiance would answer any infant-related health question with a personally responded letter. And the team at Defiance Powdered Milk had 11 nurses on staff answering hundreds of letters a day. And what was the benefit to answering all of these questions? Well, they started selling tons and tons of powdered milk with every answer they sent. Now, that's when Defiance got really smart, and Nurse Kennedy suggested that instead of answering a lot of these questions over and over again in the same letter, why don't we write a book? So they did. Nurse Kennedy published a book for expecting mothers all about how you can take care of your newborn baby, and only one of those answers included anything to do with powdered milk. And here's how it worked. They offered anyone in the world a free copy of the book as long as they paid for postage and handling, and they started sending out copy after copy. Defiance went from the 300th brand in the market to the #1 powdered milk brand in the world. That first book came out in 1908. Until the 1970s, that book was the #1 read baby book in the world, on the planet, in the universe. Millions of moms had read that book. Now, the truth is, we've actually all heard of Joe Nathan's Defiance Powdered Milk Company, but he rebranded, and I'll tell you the name of that company in just a second. But right now, let's talk about Sanjay and Mirabai. And to do that, we're gonna have to just take a little walk down to a department store so you can see what they do. 100 years after Joe started his business, Mirabai and Sanjay had their first baby, and they also launched their business. Their business is called Pure Baby, and it's organic clothing for babies. And I'm here in the David Jones department store, in the Pure Baby store, and it's awesome stuff. Now, their claim to fame is this onesie, but it's not just any onesie. It's called the Growth Suit, and they've made this revolutionary zipper that actually allows you to unzip the onesie really easily. Instead of dealing with those snaps, they make changing a baby's diaper or wet nappy a snap. Pun, that's funny, right? It's a pun, a snap. Okay. Now here's what you need to know. A new parent buys more clothes in the first 2 years of a baby's life than in the next 10 years. That is a lot of clothes. That means you need to own the parents before the baby is born if you want to maximize the potential revenue from each new baby. So, how do they do that? Pure Baby hosts what they call nesting workshops. Sanjay and Mirabai realized that expectant parents have a zillion questions. How do you swaddle a baby? How do you change a nappy? How do you do bath time? What do I need to bring to the hospital? And today's consumer wants modern answers. They don't necessarily want the wisdom that's been passed down for generations because things have changed. And the truth is, yeah, you can go online and get that from a zillion different sources, but there's no one person or brand you can go to talk to get these answers. Until Pure Baby. So they built an experience. It's an hour-long one-on-one or group session where they answer all those basic questions before the baby arrives. And it comes with a bunch of stuff, including awesome checklists like this one for the arrival home checklist or the hospital checklist. These nesting workshops are held in their stores, and the average expectant mother walks out of every one of those workshops spending about $200 on new stuff. Sanjay and Mirabai have created an experience, one that's very much like Joe Nathan's from 100 years ago. It's an experience that encourages consumers to participate in the purpose of the brand, to actively engage in raising a happy, healthy baby instead of passively receiving the messages from the brand. They've built an experience, and that's exactly what experiential marketing is. Mirabai and Sanjay have built an amazing business. They have 24 stores or so in Australia. They do a ton of business online. They're available worldwide, and they are expanding. The Pure Baby brand has taken off. Everyone is aware and knows about Pure Baby in Australia. Why? What's the secret to their success? Because Mirabai and Sanjay and Pure Baby understand the same fundamental principle that Joe Nathan uncovered over 100 years ago. If you want to build a massively successful brand and business, you need to earn your customers' trust, because trust builds relationships and relationships drive revenue. And you need to think like Joe Nathan and Sanjay and Mirabai. You need to own the customer before they need you or so they need you. So what happened to Joe Nathan's business? Well, we can all agree that Defiance powdered milk is not a great brand name. So Joe rebranded. He rebranded and called his company Glaxo. Yes, Glaxo, of GlaxoSmithKline Beecham, or GSK, one of the world's largest pharmaceutical companies. Today, GSK is worth $107 billion, and I have no doubt that Pure Baby in 5 years will be a billion-dollar global brand. Because Sanjay, Mirabai, Nurse Kennedy, Joe Nathan all understand the value of experiential marketing. What experience can you deliver that earns your customers' trust before they need you or so they need you? Well, there you have it, another episode of The Loyalty Loop. If you want to get these episodes of The Loyalty Loop before anyone else in the world, you can subscribe right here. You'll also get information about the Loyalty Loop book, which is going great, by the way. While I shop for some more baby clothing, you can enjoy this view of Sydney Harbor. I'll see you next time on The Loyalty Loop.